Welcome to another little brief summary about the content of the book. So going much more to the nuts and bolts of what the book is about. On my screen now, you should be able to see a coloured table. Now there are two coloured tables in the book, and those tables I've called activity spectrums. And this one on the screen now, at the top you can see it says non-Gaminish activity spectrum. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 color bandings. And then I'm just going to scroll down too far. And this is the second table. So there are just two tables in the book. And this is basically the crux of the book. This is the golden content. So in the Gaminish one, we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 colors: red, purple, orange, yellow, green, blue, and brown. So I'm going to scroll back up to the Gaminish, the non-Gaminish. This is direct from the book, by the way. Now, what these tables are is they are bandings with every single score in the 7-point matching. And what we will learn in the book is that when we have decided whether a position is non-Gaminish, it will go in the table, the top table, which is this one. We can then quickly understand, after reading the book, what color level the score goes into. So if we look at the top here, in red it says 3A, 2A. That means 3 away, 2 away. And that means that the most active score in non-Gaminish positions is 3 away, 2 away. Then when you go into the heart of the book, it will show some positions with the equities and what the difference is between the equities at that score to the equities. If we go down to brown, at the bottom we see 7 away, 7 away. And then if we go down to purple, we see 2 other scores. So if we are being doubled at 3 away, 3 away, as opposed to 3 away, 2 away, then what that color coding tells us is that it's a little less dangerous to be doubled at 3 away, 3 away than it is at 3 away, 2 away. And as you go down the color bandings, the activity level decreases gradually. So just looking at some scores in yellow, 6 away, 7 away is a little bit more active than 7 away, 5 away, etc., etc. And eventually what I'm going to do in this stream is play another casual settings match to illustrate and go back to these tables and these color codings. So just to reiterate, this is for non-Gaminish positions. That's the first table. But if we scroll down to the second one, the colors are in the same order, but the scores that are in those color bandings are not the same. So we're more familiar with Gaminish positions. The top score is 4 away, 2 away. That's the most dangerous score. So from the perspective of you being doubled, so if your opponent is 4 away and you're 2 away, then you're going to have to be very careful in a Gaminish position about taking. And then we go down in activity and we see 4 away, 3 away, 3 away, 2 away, 7 away, 2 away in orange. And then we go all the way down, and this is what I should have been more emphatic about. We go all the way down. If we look into brown, we can see why was my mic not in front of me? Why? We see 7 away, 7 away. Now, the least active score is 7 away, 7 away. In other words, 7 away, 7 away is the benchmark score to which all the other scores above it in the more active color bandings are compared. And then if we look below brown, we see gray, and that will contain all the other scores. So in Gaminish positions, all other scores, you might have guessed, might be 3 away, 5 away. So instead of scores where you are trailing, which is the case in the Gaminish activity spectrum, if you look at all the scores that are active, they're scores where you are behind in the match. Hopefully most of you guys will understand that already. But if you go down to grey, below the reference benchmark of 7 away, 7 away, most of the scores will be scores where you are leading. And if I scroll up to the non-Gaminish spectrum, we have fewer colours, yes, fewer bandings, but we still have that same 7 away, 7 away, and then all other scores. And before we go into a match, you know, look at, this is non-Gaminish. Who would have known that 4 away, 6 away is an active score in non-Gaminish positions? Okay. So, with that in mind, I'm going to go into a match and try and show you how I employ the colors and flick back between the colors so that we can have a better idea of what the activity spectrums are doing in the book. No minimum. Well, I tried 2000, but I might not match up with someone. So there I have my little tables while I'm being matched. On the left is the non-Gaminish activity spectrum. On the right is the Gaminish one. And we're going to ask ourselves, like I did in the other stream, in any position where the cube is coming, what type of position is it? Is it not Gaminish or is it Gaminish? And that's about it. Let's increase that. Who have we got in the chat? We got one lovely person. I hope it doesn't take too long. On the right hand side here, you have at the top, the right hand column of each spectrum says chapter and color. And so I go deal with each color band in a separate chapter. So in chapter 2, I talk about 3 away, 2 away, but I also talk about the Gaminish spectrum, 4 away, 2 away. Hey, Thomas. Thank you. When you say great value, you mean the book is great value? Or you're just enjoying the stream? And then the next color coding I do is purple, which will be chapter 3, but I also do it for the I do non-Gaminish, so I do those 2 scores, 3 away, 3 away, 2 away, 3 away, and then for Gaminish, which is on the right hand side, I do 4 away, 3 away, and 3 away, 2 away. So yeah, I wanted to show you this stream because I felt I didn't show you the tables that I'm going to be using. So I'll flick back. Looking very grey and glass spectacled today. So let's see how we can employ them. Nice to just have the emphasis on cubing. I'll put some sound on. So already what should be pointed out is that we're steering towards a gammonish position. Our opponent has no anchor. We have one. So if we were to double, which we're not going to yet, fancy double hitting, but I'm just going to play quickly. And so now we see immediately, like, do we have a gammonish or non-gammonish position? We have a gammonish position. And then we ask ourselves, I'm going to state the obvious, what is the score that we are at? We are at 7 away, 7 away, which is brown. So it is the least active in both the gammonish and the gammonish activity spectrums. So we double according to our reference position, our benchmark score, which is 7 away, 7 away. And 7 away, 7 away is essentially the same as money. So it's not going to help us know whether it is a double per se, these activity spectrums. It's just going to help us when we know what the situation is for money. But there are positions in the book where I give you all the equities and the equities for money in 7 away, 7 away, and then you can start to learn how they differ at each score. So now, what's the score? We're 1-0 up. We're 6 away, 7 away. If we were in a non-gammonish position, where can we see 6 away, 7 away? We see it there in yellow. So if we were to get into a non-gammonish situation in this game, we would look to double slightly earlier. Turn down the sound a bit, please. Oh, okay. We would look to double, just move the mic a little bit. We would look to double a little earlier than we would at 7 away, 7 away. Why? Because 6 away, 7 away is in the yellow banding, which is above brown. So just to clarify, we're looking at the left-hand activity spectrum, because that's the spectrum for non-gammonish positions. If we were to get into a non-gammonish position, we would look at our table, remember what our score is, 6 away, 7 away, and see which color coding it falls into. And it falls into yellow. So we double a little bit earlier than we would in brown, which is 7 away, 7 away. But as it happens, we're in a gammonish position. I just look back, silly me. And we should be looking at the spectrum on the right-hand side. And what's easy in general is that in the gammonish spectrum, we're leading here. There are no leading scores apart from 4 away, 5 away, and 4 away, 6 away, which are more active than brown. You can check them quickly if you look through all the bandings to see if 6 away, 7 away is there. It's not. It's in grey. That means that it's less active than 7 away, 7 away. So if you were to double this at 7 away, 7 away, you might not double this at 6 away, 7 away. Having said that, the position is sufficiently strong anyway for me to double. Do I run out? I'm not sure. We don't care about checker play anymore. How many shots did I leave? 6 shots. Okay. Game sound too loud. Thomas. Is the game sound too loud? Let me just turn it off. I can't hear it at all, but okay. So anyway, we're cruising to a little single game win. We've already doubled, so we're not concerned about our activity spectrums. Just going to let the cat in. But what we are concerned with is what the score will be. Assuming, let's say we win 2 points, we'll be 3-0 up. We'll be 3-0 up, and then the score will be 4 away, 7 away. Now, I think it's actually a little bit tricky sometimes to remember the format of the away score, but it's worth persevering with. I couldn't find a better way of doing it in the book. I think the shorthand is necessary. So anyway, if we win this game and we win 2 points, we'll be 4 away, 7 away. Now, if I look back to the... Oh, is this a... Who's on roll here? If I look back to the activity spectrums, if I get into a non-Gaminish position on the left-hand side, I know that 4 away, 7 away, look, it's at the top of the orange banding. So actually, I will be able to cube earlier than I would be able to if the score was brown, 7 away, 7 away. However, if we get into a Gaminish position on the right-hand side, well, there are no leading scores, generally, to simplify, in the Gaminish spectrum, so I won't be thinking about doubling. Maybe I should say to... Sorry, I am streaming. Hence the delay. So knowing these activity spectrums for both types of position gives you such a sense of accuracy and clarity, so that you're not just kind of guessing what you should be doing at most of the scores. Ooh. A redouble. So, disclaimer, I don't go into redoubles in the book, but redoubles are actually simpler than initial doubles, because you can just calculate them using match equities. I don't do that in the book. I could do that now if I could be bothered. Can I be bothered? Firstly, I'm not really sure whether I'm going to be taking... Would I be taking... What's the... I mean, how strong is the position? So let's talk about like the... let's try and extrapolate what's happening with the activity spectrums here. because I'm leading in the match, his redouble becomes a lot more active. So for him, he's 7 away, 6 away. But he's giving me a 4 cube, and it's a non-gammonish position. So if there was a table for redoubles, which there isn't, then the activity of this cube would be pretty high. It would be one of the higher color bandings. But I think this is a pass anyway, so we've got 3 rolls. And I think I would pass this at 7 away, 7 away. I'm just checking. I mean, yeah, I assume it is. Okay. You did? Thank you, Thomas. That's the whole point. So what happened? We didn't go 3-0 up. He went 2-1 up. So now the score is 6 away, 5 away. And if we get into a gammonish position, I keep reversing the order, I'm sorry. If we get into a non-gammonish position, always non-gammonish table is on the left, then we're going to be in brown. So it's going to be a similar cube action or activity level to 7 away, 7 away. If we get into a gammonish position, 6 away, 5 away, is in green. So it's actually just quite a little bit more active than brown. So if we're in a non-gammonish position, it's the same pretty much. If we're in a gammonish position, it goes into green. Now, I'll try and talk a little bit more about that redouble because I didn't really deal with it very well after the match, and show you how you can extrapolate the information that is in the book to use that to deal with redoubles. I'm sure he's losing his patience. Okay, he's still there, thank God. Okay. It's very quiet, like nice, quite feeling a quiet mood. Nice play. Okay. Suppose we can do that. And I don't talk about checker plays specifically in the book, but generally when you're trailing, you can be more aggressive. You're always aiming to get that gammonish position. Oh, that was an insanely good roll. And now I'm toast. So yeah, he's leading, but so just because well, let's start with the first port of call. From his point of view, he's 5 away, 6 away. And it's a gammonish position. Where is it? It's not there. It's in grey. Okay, so it's not active. However, of course, that doesn't mean that it could never be a double or never be a pass. It just means that you're going to adjust it a little bit from 7 away, 7 away. Now, I do talk a little bit more about the scores in the grey category. They're not all the same. 5 away, 6 away is going to be a little bit more active than, or a lot more active than 3 away, 4 away, or 3 away, 5 away. Anyway, so like I said at the beginning, it doesn't tell you what you should be doing. It just tells you, if you know what the situation is at 7 away, 7 away, which obviously no one is going to know, that you need to adjust. It tells you how much you need to adjust, and it gives you such a good sense of how much you need to adjust. Anyway, the position is so damaging for me. I lose so many gammons. that I'm going to pass. And now the score goes to 6 away, 4 away. Okay, I have got a moment. I want to make sure I don't forget to go back to the right. So if I do get into a non-Gaminish position, then I'll be looking at brown on the left for non-Gaminish. And if I get into a Gaminish position, I'll be looking at green. So I should be doubling a little bit, quite a bit earlier in a Gaminish position. Which is why don't want to do that. Which is why it would be good for me to, maybe I do want to do that, don't know. Why it's kind of good for me to try and get into a Gaminish position, because the cube is more active. I don't know what he's doing there. He shouldn't do this. Should be hitting. Not sure if I can be taking. So again, from his perspective, where is he? He's in a kind of, well, I guess he's in a Gaminish position. I've got 2 loose blots. He's, therefore, if he is, he's at 4 away, 6 away, which is pretty much the same as 7 away, 7 away. It's in brown. So if I'm going to pass this for money, which I surely am, I'm going to pass it at 4 away, 6 away. Getting to Crawford makes this cube valuable, absolutely. So I talk about getting to 2 away and getting to Crawford, which makes these surprising features of the non-Gaminish spectrum, makes scores where you're 4 away active, because if you're 4 away and you win 2 points, you actually played on. He's probably going to cube from the bar here, and it won't be a cube. Yeah, you see how I know. Anyway, I'm not going to talk about that cue specifically. I just think it was a mistake for him to double. Oops. But if I did have a position where I was recubing, of course, I think most people know I'm trailing 6 away, 4 away. I can recube extremely early. And he has to be very careful about taking. But that's not going to happen. And I could still get gammon for the match, I suppose. Like so. So most likely, score is going to be, what's the score going to be next game? It's going to be 4 away, 4 away. So I'm going to open up the spectrum, those 2 tables, and have a look where they are. That's probably not right. Oh, what's going on? I suppose there's auto roll, isn't there? Okay, so having a quick flick back again. Sorry, what am I talking about? The score is I can't even sort that out. So the score, of course, is 5-1 to him. So I'm 6 away, 2 away. So I'm just going to go straight to the Gamanish table. I'm going to try and go for a Gamanish position. Let's say I do get one. And being 6 away, 2 away, where am I in the activity spectrum? How quickly can I double? Well, I'm up in orange. And these scores are actually in order, by the way. So 6 away, 2 away is the fifth most active score in a Gamanish position on a centered cube. So I can double pretty early. Now, if I was in a non-Gamanish position, I'm still in orange, so I can still double pretty early. There is a big difference between the non-Gamanish and the Gamanish spectrums. The non-Gamanish ones don't make as much of a difference as the Gamanish spectrums. So if you were to double something at 3 away, 4 away in the non-Gamanish, when you thought it was 7 away, 7 away, you wouldn't be making much of a mistake. But the difference between the color bandings in the Gamanish spectrum are much bigger. I'm going to move back to the game. So 6 away, 2 away. Obviously, from his perspective, he's 2 away, 6 away. Now, you probably don't need to look at the Gamanish table to realize that he's never going to double. And in the non-Gamanish spectrum, you might also realize that he's not going to double. Well, not at least until he gets to a very close to a last roll position. So if he's just thinking about the cube all the time, he's 2 away, 6 away, he just knows like, oh, I'm not going to be doubling. And that makes his game a lot easier. Hey, Eric. But, you know, so as I said, the main goal for me is to realize that I'm 6 away, 2 away, that it is orange in the Gamanish activity spectrum. And for me then to try and get a Gamanish position. So just I talk about checker play because I'm trying to get a Gamanish position. I'm not really going to think about making the advanced anchor. I'm going to make the 3-point because I'm not concerned about stopping his Gamanish cube because he never has one. So now we come off the anchor, I've got a stronger position for sure. I don't know how to play this. I'm just going to slot the 7-point. Not sure. Maybe I should. I don't know. How are you, Eric? How's everyone? And it's getting closer to a Gamanish position. So, or it is. It definitely is a Gamanish position. And then the question is, would I be doubling this at 7 away, 7 away? And then, if not, noting that orange is way, way more active. So even if I wasn't doubling at 7 away, 7 away, then I might well be doubling at 7 away, 2 away, which is the fourth score. If you look at the table, it's 1, 2, 3. It's the fifth score down on the right-hand side. But I don't think it's strong enough as far as the position is concerned. It's weird, like my brain's like freezing because I'm trying so hard to think about the table and not really playing in flow or anything. Something like this. Well, now he's made the 18 points, so the Gaminish positions are off the table. So I'm looking back at the spectrum on the left, or in my mind. Hopefully I've memorized a few of them, which I have. I think I've memorized almost all of them now, but it's taken a long time. So now I'll be thinking about 6 away, 2 away, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 down on the left-hand side. It's still in orange, so I can double quite early. If I get to a position that's vaguely tenable, but you know, in a non-Gaminish position, you have to be much closer to home to have any justification for doubling. I can probably just about do this. Oh yeah, I wish I could come to Monty. A little bit of nice feedback only, of course. No feedback. What? So is the activity spectrum making sense, Thomas, Eric? Does it? Do you see what it's meant to be doing, and do you think it's useful? Fuck, I don't know what to do here. A. Am I going to break the 6 point like this? Oh, I don't know. That's what I'm hoping. That's my Eric. This is like an authoritarian regime. Is the activity spectrum useful? Does it make sense? Yes. Yes. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Oh God, I don't know if I can do this with a broken 6 point. Isn't it like Gammon value? Yeah, I talk about how it intersects with Gammon value. Is it like Gammon value? It's dependent on the Gammonish spectrum. Depends a lot on the Gammon value, and of course, the non-Gammonish spectrum doesn't really need to talk to factor in Gammon value because there are no Gammons in the position, or very few. I didn't think about cubing there. Oops. I don't think it was because of his. Okay, so let's see after you buy the book. Of course, we're going to buy it. Let me just talk about the position. This is a big pass anyway at Brown. So we're in the left-hand table. It's 7 away, 7 away. It's a big pass. So it's going to be an even bigger pass at 6 away, 2 away, I'm assuming. So we don't need to know that we lost our market by a cube. I might have missed a cube actually. So Gammon value is only one of the factors that determines the activity. And I talk about the other factors as well. It's not so important to know the factors. It's just basically just have those, memorize those tables and know, just have some grounding for why. But it's not so important to know exactly what contributes to the activity. So now we're 5 away, 2 away. We're going to go for a nice Gammonish orange 5 away, 2 away, which it's number 4 in the orange. But if we're in a non-Gammonish position, I can assure you 5 away, 2 away is nowhere to be seen. It's in grey, all other scores. It's very inactive actually. So that means we're going to be doubling late if we have a non-Gammonish position. So we want to go for a non-Gammonish position, of course. I mean, none of this is, a lot of it is very, very obvious, but it's just to tack it all on together into a nice, complete thing. And I feel the only thing that's missing are an exact restatement of the redoubling situation. I've forgotten how to play backgammon. I don't think, like, talking about trying to get a gammonish position, this is not, I don't want to do. But if the score was different, I might want to do this. He won't be able to double this. That's the whole point. He's 2 away and I'm 5 away. He's got a gammonish position. It's very inactive for him. And if he was to construe the position as non-gammonish, it's still inactive, this score, 2 away, 5 away. No idea. So I can just hang in there for ages. I mean, here his position is getting stronger, but he's just going to play. He's just going to try and minimize risk, and I'm going to do that. And do I want to step up? I don't think I do. I don't see the gain in stepping up. Or maybe try and get lucky and win a gammon. So the cube has very little value for him. But it has no value for me because of the position. I suppose I have to come up. Okay, so now I get some shots. I don't think this can be a cube. How many shots have I got? 1, 6, 2, 6, 3, 6, 3, 4, 2, 5. 10? 10 is not enough. But they will be big market losers. Well, he could roll a 2, I guess. Now it would be interesting if he cubed. I think it would be a big blunder, but his position is getting much, much stronger. And now it's really crystallized into something very, very strong, so that he probably could have doubled there, probably missed the cube. Now it's going to be too good. So these things are not, you don't really need to think about the activity spectrum for everything. These might be just more common sense principles that we know in backgammon. Yeah, I realize as I do the stream that the book cannot cover every single eventuality in every score. But it covers almost every eventuality. I guess I'm going to burn one. So I think he should be playing on, but he's probably going to cube. Okay, fine. Now, of course, when you're leading, it's interesting when you start questioning why. Well, you know, I said, well, he shouldn't be cubing, but of course the position got so strong. It was too good. He was winning such a high number of single games. What am I trying to do here? That it would be insane for me to have taken that. Is that right? No. Hey, oh, you've got a crown next to your name, Adam. That's cool. How cool is that? Did you do that? The book's available now. It's being sold. It's doing okay. It's doing quite well actually. It's on Amazon. The links are in this YouTube video. Mitchie has endorsed it. I've got to hit come down, I suppose. I didn't actually see that. So I don't talk about Crawford. Why? Because I don't think, to be honest, I don't really think there's much to talk about in Crawford. Well, neither of us can double, so I think we all know that. I don't think there's anything else to say. And I don't talk about post Crawford either. There are a couple of things that you know, but actually Nick Blazier went into them very, very comprehensive detail in his book, and I don't really think I need to duplicate that material. I don't know if I need the anchor. Well, now I'll anchor anyway. I think he could have just come out with the 6. He gets to do it now. Okay. What? I have to have a blot on my ace point, which I don't want. I can come out, I think, with impunity. No, I can't. Okay, I'm in. I got a chance. Unfortunately, as far as the book's concerned, like I alluded to, there's nothing more to be learned because we're post Crawford. Okay. Oh, it could be over. I was like going to say I'm tempted to resign. He's big favorite. Oh, I passed that. Interesting. I had that recube decision, which is embarrassingly not covered in the book at all. But you know, they're bear-offs. There's a specific way of calculating them. Okay. Well done to my opponent. Nice one. Okay. If I can get XG up, that would be fabulous. Oh, I can. I think I can. Well, it was looking promising. Shall I leave it for a second? Have a look at the analysis on here. And again, try and build back into the book, because that's the whole point. Try and get you guys to buy this fabulous book. What's going on? Now this is... that must have been the pass with the 6 checkers versus 4. Okay, I'm going to look at the cube action. So we talked about 7 away, 7. This is 7 away, 7 away. And it is a pass. So if we look at these numbers here, I don't know how familiar. I always assume people were. People always talk about equity. This number here plus 1 at the top is obviously what you win if your opponent, well, if he makes the right decision and passes. So it's the same as the double pass line at the bottom. And then the double take line is plus 1.19. That means that if your opponent was to take, you would be winning more than 1. That's why it's a pass. Now, the way the spectrum fits in with this, well, if this is worth 1.19 as a double take at this score, 7 away, 7 away, then if we look at the right-hand side, because it's a Gamanish position, then if we were to double this at 4 away, 2 away, it might be worth like 1.6. That much, unbelievably, yes. And I can try and show you that in XG. I'll just dump the position in if I can remember it. It's still not complying. So the whole point of the activity spectrum is not to remember equities, but by seeing the differences in the numbers, you get to see exactly why these colors are really meaningful. They're not just like plucked out the air, and they do actually have an impact on whether or not you should be taking or passing. So this would be a huge pass at 4 away, 2 away, and it would be a very big pass even at 5 away, 2 away. In fact, if you look at the no double line, it's almost close. The position's value as it starts with is very high. It's almost at the take pass borderline already, so it doesn't need much to push it over. Okay, so let's go back to, I think the stream has kind of gone a bit slow. So then we had this cube here. So I was leading 1-0. This cube here. And then just to look at those numbers again. Now, the position is not worth anywhere near as much as the previous one. We look at the no double line, it's worth 0.7 plus 0.708. And if we double and he takes, it's worth plus 0.759. So it's not worth anywhere near as much, but it is a double because we have more higher equity on the double take line than in the no double. Hope you guys are following this. Everyone's left. I keep clicking the wrong button. Oh, it's really slow. I'm sorry about that. Oh, I don't know why. So if we go back to this double, even though the if I go back to the keep going back to these lovely tables, if we go back and we look on the right hand side, we see our score is 6 away, 7 away. Then we can't find it on the table. Remember I said that? It's in grey, so it's less active than any of our scores, and specifically our benchmark score of 7 away, 7 away, which is brown. it's less active than brown, which means that we would be slightly less willing to double this at this school than at brown. But since the position is pretty strong anyway, it might